Another fight that I think is going to be very entertaining also between Freddie Hernandez and Rudy Zavala. Zavala's got something to prove too. He has to prove that he is not susceptible to cuts. He has been, and it's cost him.
Rudy Zavala is an action fighter, a little too action-filled for his own good. After 17 wins and a draw, his hell-bent for leather style caught up with him against Jesus Salud. He and Salud treated ESPN viewers to a wild affair. They battled and battled. A cut over Zavala's eye was the beginning of the end for Rudy. Salud kept up the pressure as the bout continued. Rudy gave as good as he got, but alas, it wasn't enough. The doctor would step in and stop it in the 8th round. Tonight, against Freddie Hernandez, Zavala hopes to avoid the same kind of ending.
Here is a look at Zavala now. As you can see, his last round, he was knocked out by Jesus Salud, although he is quick to tell you it was a TKO and not a KO. The fight was stopped. And tonight he gets a very creditable opponent whose clothes were designed by Reynolds. Freddie Hernandez, also coming off a tough loss, but he's a guy who's no secret. He is going to be right in the face of Rudy Zavala tonight.
And this would bring us to the keys to victory. Hernandez, Mr. Inside, got to go inside, I think, to get inside where he can work to Zavala's body and head. Avoid the uppercut. Zavala has one of the best uppercuts around. When I say Zavala, keep his head out of the way of Hernandez's head because of that bad cut he suffered in his last fight against Salud. The best defense is a good offense, and for Zavala, he's going to have to keep Hernandez on the outside.
All right, so that is it for our first fight. 2 10-round fights here, and let's get to this one now. They are featherweights, and here to meet them is Michael Butler.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to the located in Missoula, Montana. Well, tonight, Top Rank Incorporated, in association with the undisputed, undefeated King of Beer, Budweiser, presents professional boxing for your entertainment. All these bouts are sanctioned by the Montana State Board of Athletics. Let's get things started, ladies and gentlemen, with a 10-round bout. This is in the featherweight division. The referee for this contest is Nick O'Brien. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner. He's wearing the gold trunks with black trim and comes to us tonight from Mexicali, Baja California, Mexico. His professional record, 13-10, 8 of those 13 victories are by KO. Ladies and gentlemen, Freddie Pantera Hernandez. And across the ring, his opponent fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the white trunks with blue trim, weighing in at an even 124 pounds from Costa Mesa, California. His professional record, 17-1-1, 14 KOs. Ladies and gentlemen, Rudy Zavala.
And let's talk about the rules here in the state of Montana, Al.
3 knockdown rules in effect, standing 8. Only the referee can stop the bout. The winner gets 10 points, loser 9 or less. 3 judges will score. The referee doesn't figure in. The fighter can only be saved by the bell in the final round. We might add that if there's an accidental clash of heads and it'd be stopped for a cut, after the first round, they would go to the scorecard.
Yeah, that in itself is rather unusual. So we are just about set to go here. And here is a look at Rudy Zavala. And of course, the only question about him is his susceptibility to swell and cut around the eyes. Now, they say they had work done by a plastic surgeon after the last fight. They don't anticipate any problems. But the man he's fighting, Freddie Hernandez, says, I'm going right for that eye.
And this is a very small ring here, which doesn't really impact these men too much because they will be right after each other.
They're very small men.
This is true. These boxing insights you bring. You saw the knockout ratio there a moment ago. Zavala, a big puncher.
They say that Freddie Hernandez was a very bright prospect at one point, but was brought along perhaps a little bit too quickly. In fact, he was brought along quickly in his very first fight. He fought Tomas Valdez, who was a very tough opponent, a guy who had 10 fights at that time, and he knocked Hernandez out in 1 round. But then Hernandez got on a roll, and he really was looking like a contender, but again, perhaps too much too soon.
Yeah, he went in against some very tough guys, against Gabe Ruelas, and I had to get Ruelas down twice, but lost to him. Had Jamal Hinton down, but lost to him, knocked out in 7 rounds. So he's been against some great, including Johnny Tapia, who he fought in only about his 7th pro fight.
He's pretty serious about this fight. He says he's been in training, working hard for it, knew about the fight well in advance, no excuses.
Yeah, they feel they can win this. I mean, he feels very much like he's got a shot here. And this is a Rudy Zavala who is starting out in a more cautious vein than sometimes he does, right? Part of it may be the problem with the eye, the fact that, as he's told us, he's working hard on his defense.
Well, remember, too, he told us this morning that his intent against Salud was to come out and box very much as he's doing here, but because he got the cut early, he wasn't able to do that.
And that cut, a fight that many of you saw here on ESPN, Barry and I weren't there. We were off in Europe somewhere doing assorted assignments, but the cut was caused by a punch, but then Salud, in a lot of cases, there were clashes of heads, and it made the cut worse. I tell you, the jab of Hernandez here in round one is amazing. It's very accurate, and he's landed a number of them.
Very effective jab. Doing a nice job. Giving a lot of movement.
20 jabs in this. Actually landed 20 jabs in this round.
Giving a lot of movement to Zavala, too, and making himself an elusive target. And I tell you, you can really see him looking for that eye.
Which doesn't look that great, does it?
Right,
it's all red. Zavala's leaning in with his head. Now there's the Zavala jab, which is doing well, but I said Hernandez should fight on the inside. I might have been wrong because he's using the jab, but see, there's what he can do on the inside, but he's using the jab well from the outside also.
Very good side-to-side movement, too, and he really is bringing his punches at very good angles against Zavala. That's an excellent first round for Freddie Hernandez. We'll be back to Missoula right after this.
Here is Hernandez landing a jab right to the left eye of Zavala. 85 of Hernandez's 117 punches were jabs in round one.
And we should point out Zavala's eye is already red.
Yeah.
And there's a little swelling underneath the eye, not above it, but it's already showing a little bit of red, and that has to be at least of a modicum of concern in the corner of Zavala. And there's the numbers that you just spoke of.
So even though percentage is low on what he landed, Hernandez throwing and landing a lot more. There's Zavala looking for that uppercut. Now, Hernandez himself wants to throw the uppercut, but he threw that one from very far out. See, there's Zavala again with that uppercut.
Yeah, and starting to get there with it, too.
And, with this jab landing so much, the right hand to start coming behind it. And that will really wreak havoc with that eye.
Good right hand, counter right hand actually by Hernandez.
Oh, he's landing, his percentage of jabs landing is amazing. I mean, he's just popping them in. See, now he's, even with the lead right, he's getting there. Zavala is leaning in, and his left hand is low enough so that the jab from Hernandez can land almost every time.
And again, I like the angles that Hernandez is giving.
Yes, a very good point, Barry. You made that in the first round, and it remains a good point here in the second round. Just as good as when you said it the first time. Now, one of the ways you stop a guy from jabbing is by jabbing yourself, and that's what Zavala's now doing, getting off first with his jab and neutralizing Hernandez's jab a little bit. That's probably the first move in this bout that looked bad for Hernandez because he just threw a wild right. It's been a good second round again for Hernandez, even though Zavala has had his moments.
Because Zavala is a little bit more effective in this round. But again, Hernandez obviously went into this fight with a plan. He's executing it pretty well so far.
Almost perfectly.
Nice uppercut there.
He's throwing that uppercut, though, sometimes, Hernandez, from far out like that. He'll get hit with the right hand by Zavala if he keeps doing it. This is a very Rudy Zavala. We have never seen him this controlled.
Started to open up Hernandez. Got there with the right hand, and that might have hurt Hernandez, but was it enough to win the round?
From our Goodyear blimp camera, you can see the Zavala landing The right hand, there it is. The right hand getting into Freddie Hernandez.
Good finish to that second round for Zavala. We'll see what that does for his confidence. Still, as we pointed out earlier, a little reddening around the eyelid. Not cut, however. On your card, even fight after the first two.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to say the late round of Zavala obviously made
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. That late rally got. You could just say that for me.
So it was the late part of the round.
Yes,
that you feel,
precisely what it is. As my spokesperson very explained it. You see the edge for Zavala in punches, and ended up giving it to him by a little bit. But I'll tell you what, the power of Zavala now having an impact.
Hurt him with a left hand, put him down with a combination of lefts.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Oh no, that was the quickest count I've ever heard. That was terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible.
The thing that makes it kind of weird is from 9 to 10
Exactly.
was like a millisecond.
Exactly.
And in fact, Hernandez was getting up. Now, I don't think Hernandez is distressed at this point that fight was stopped. But you don't go from 9 to 10 quicker than you went from 8 to 9.
No, he went 7, 8, 9, 10. I've never heard a count.
That was kind of a weird
If we ran
count.
commercials like that, ESPN would go broke.
All right, but it does not mar the fact that Rudy Zavala used a lot of power there to get Freddie Hernandez out. And it also does not obscure the fact that this man, Rudy Zavala, did not perform as he would like to. And I think even he would say he was a little slower here tonight. And here we'll see how it ended. Zavala getting the right hand. There's the uppercut. We talked about that earlier. That's an excellent punch. The power, Zavala, unquestioned, is a puncher. I mean, he has terrific power. And Hernandez did take, it was tough for him to get up out of those ropes. There's a Zavala from another angle. This is the part where the fight ends. The mouthpiece goes flying. You see us in the background doing our expert commentary.
Yeah, that's right.
We often do.
I don't know if we are able to hear the referee's count, but we can hear it. And you're watching the real clock now.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
And you heard it right there.
You heard it, 9-10. And
well, it was into double digits, you know, so you had to add that other number.
well, that was it.
I
Yeah.
think that's it. I'm not saying the fight would have gone any other way, but that was poor. Here's Michael Buck.
Getting a knockout victory in 1 minute and 9 seconds of round number 2 to Rudy Zavala. For a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for Freddie Hernandez.